Well, this is a really weird one today. One of the strangest things in writing that I've ever really heard of. By now, you've probably heard that there is a copyright claim, a lawsuit against the Tolkien estate and Amazon for Rings of Power. A claim that is essentially saying that it was stolen from an author. Normally a huge complaint and one that I would take very seriously. Except this one seems ludicrous. It's absolutely ridiculous, and let's get into why and why it's important for you as an author to be aware of copyright and what it can do for you, how it may protect you, and how it could hurt you. There have been snarky article titles like "The Balls on This Guy" and "Lord of the Rings fanfiction writer sues Tolkien," and they're all pretty fucking accurate. So first, let's unpack the actual lawsuit itself. An author who I won't name or give you the name of his book, because essentially I believe this to be really just a ploy to get some eyes on their novel, maybe get a couple quick sales based on human curiosity. Well, they have sued Tolkien and they have sued Amazon for copyright infringement. Their novel, which they say was inspired by Lord of the Rings and J.R.R. Tolkien, but is a wholly different concept, their own thing. Later in this video, you'll see that that's a bunch of bullshit too. But the lawsuit is seeking $250 million in damages. There is a history here of engagement with the author and the Tolkien estate. At least one-sided engagement. The author filed a trademark in the US in 2017 to protect their book, and they later published their book in September of 2022, coincidentally the same month that Rings of Power was produced. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say that it was perhaps published that month because, I don't know, you might get some extra traffic if people are interested in that exact concept. But it does seem a bit interesting, doesn't it? But during the interim between the copyright and the publication of their book, they made a lot of attempts to contact the Tolkien estate to get them to potentially work with them on this concept that they had, this new idea they had of really utilizing the work of Tolkien. And I get it. I mean, who wouldn't want to work with the Tolkien estate? Like, there's Sting right there. There's The Hobbit right there. There's Lord of the Rings right there. Yeah, I totally get it. I understand. But the Tolkien estate was non-responsive. And since they were not responding to this author's love letters to the Tolkien estate, well, they hired a lawyer. That lawyer then attempted to contact the Tolkien estate as well, to work on this together, to collaborate with this. The response that the lawyer got? Well, the lawsuit says that the Tolkien estate rebuffed any attempt at collaboration the very next day.
Messages erased.
Unperturbed by yet again being told no, that the Tolkien estate does not want anything to do with them, they personally delivered their copyrighted manuscript to Simon Tolkien's home. Honestly, so far, it sounds a lot like if I was sending tons of DMs to Daniel Green and Jenna Moresi and sitting there saying, hey, hey, I want to work on this. Let's work on this together, but not getting a reply. So then I decide to camp out in front of their homes and then hide my manuscript or my books all around their yards and homes with like little Easter eggs of copyrighted material. But see, then once they find them, I could enact my evil plan, my plan to sue them, because you see, my books have a goblin in them and a cyborg. But is there any actual fire here? Is there any standing for this copyright lawsuit beyond all the ridiculousness that we've talked about so far? Well, the lawsuit points to similarities between the Rings of Power characters, especially one named Eleanor, and characters in the book, also named Eleanor. I guess this completely ignores the fact that, well, this person existed in Tolkien's works. Oh, wait, no, that doesn't actually ignore it. Because in the description of the book, it is that person that is being written about in this author's copyrighted work. The very same character that was written about in Lord of the Rings. It also conveniently ignores the fact that per US copyright law, names are not copyright protected. As you can see from this quote from their website, copyright protection does not extend to names, titles, short phrases, ideas, methods, facts, or systems. It does, however, cover specific creative expression. For example, copyright does not protect the general idea of a group of friends who journey on a heroic quest to defeat evil. This is actually good for the author because they use a lot of names from Tolkien, not just Eleanor. In fact, they use a whole lot more than just names. Long before Sauron, the original Rings of Power were forged by the Elven Lord Celebrimbor and Dwarven Smith Narvi in Ergion, near the Misty Mountains. These first magic rings were far more powerful than those that came after and were corrupted by Sauron to be fought for in the War of the Ring. Bro, come on. You're publishing a fan fiction and then suing the copyright holder of said fiction. Nothing against fan fiction. I think fan fiction is great. But what is the thought process here? What is the lawsuit is both ludicrous and kind of frustrating. It'd be easy to completely write this off as some bold attempt at getting some extra eyes on their book. And I'm sure it'll work. I'm sure they have received more sales from this than, putting some advertisements out on Amazon. But it begs the question about copyright and what it is and how it can protect authors like you and I. It brings home that we need to be aware of some copyright law and understand what some of its limitations are. And this is also where I tell you that I am not the person to be explaining that to you. I am no lawyer, and all my research on copyright has all been done basically the same way you might do it. By researching it online, by checking out some reputable sources that I'm going to link down below. You can consider this frivolous lawsuit as some kind of note that you should be looking into this. Look into copyright. Think of whether you want to register or not. See the costs involved with registering your copyright and the different limitations that come with it. What can you copyright and what can't you? Like, for example, your title of the book or the character names. What is it that you can actually copyright? There is a very distinct difference between having copyright of something and then actually having a registered copyright. And the registered copyright being really the way to sue. Also note that these laws will vary greatly from country to country. In fact, I've had to learn about copyright laws just for these YouTube videos and see what counts as fair use or transformative, but also realizing that that doesn't apply in all countries. So go down there, look at some of those resources on copyright. Look up some of your own resources. Don't take my advice on copyright. Look into it for yourself, and if you really are interested, contact a lawyer about it. It's boring stuff. It's very boring stuff, but it's important stuff. And while you're down there looking at all that copyright information, my book's linked there as well. And it doesn't have Samwise's daughter in it. No Eleanor Gamgee here. But, maybe I'll do that in the next one. $250 million. Wow. Wow. Thank you everyone for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day and stay safe out there.